Welcome back, everyone, to Rob's Daily Classics. You know, spring selling season is officially in effect, I suppose, buying season. And there's an interesting dynamic between Craigslist, eBay, and Bring a Trailer that I wanted to talk about. Now, we're all kind of experienced buyers and sellers. That's people who are on this channel anyway. And we all know the Bring a Trailer is kind of an expensive place and all to find the perfect car, so to speak. And then there's Hemmings, and there's Auto Trader Classics, and there's the Samba, if you like to buy air-cooled Volkswagens. But in this kind of conversation, I'm just going to talk about the three: Craigslist, eBay, and Bring a Trailer. So let's dive in a bit and compare and talk about the pricing that you find on all these different platforms. So what you find here is that Craigslist is kind of like, my opinion, it's really like the bargain bin basement of finding cars. You know, it doesn't mean that you're not going to find expensive cars here. But Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace are kind of similar. Facebook Marketplace does have a buyer profile. You can look at the profile, but remember, I would think over 25, even 30% of people on Facebook are scammers. I mean, and it's even more annoying than anywhere else that I shop on. But they're kind of like the Wild West of car buying. You know, it's hyper local. It's peer-to-peer, and the transactions are usually done in cash, you know, at a grocery store parking lot. You know, that's what I do anyway. And the cars, this is where you find kind of like driver quality cars. Most of the times, you'll find some high mileage examples, unfinished projects that people say, I have to sell because I'm moving. And the vibe is kind of like high risk but high reward because you're shopping and you're doing your legwork yourself. Whereas Bring a Trailer, you know, they're doing it for you. So, you know, there's high risk and high reward. So when you do find something really nice on Craigslist, there's some good deals, you know. And I'm going to use the C4 Corvette as an example because I know many of you pass over C4 Corvettes as like, yeah, you can buy them cheap and they're not really worth anything. But there's a sudden ground shift going on in C4 Corvettes, which is well-deserved. And they're moving up in price a bit. And especially the very more desirable models, you know, with the manual transmissions and things like that. So on Craigslist, you can find C4 Corvettes anywhere between $4,000 and $8,000. And they might need the weather stripping, and they have the tears in the leather, and they suffer from the C4 classic problems of the flickering dash lights and things like that. And you'll find expensive ones too, but like right here on Craigslist is a 1976 Chevy Corvette for $7,000, 106,000 miles, a lot of miles, but this 1996 Corvette C4 is a really good car. You know, by then, the car's really got very well behaved, and this is a real deal. I contacted the seller, and we talked a bit, sound like a nice person, and he's letting this car go for $7,000, which if I was back in Austin, Texas, I'd probably go not only look at it, but I probably might buy that car. But that's just an example. And then on Craigslist, you have here a 1996 collector's edition with the LT4 engine with only 33,000 miles. And this guy's looking for $27,000. Let me tell you, it might be worth $24,000. You know, it's a nice looking car. It's a good candidate for Bring a Trailer as well. And so that's what's happening with Craigslist. It's one of my favorite go-to places because it's the difference between ordering DoorDash to get groceries or going to ShopRite and buying the groceries yourself. I'm not paying for the platform on Craigslist. I'm paying for finding the car that I want to buy. So then you have eBay. eBay's been around a long time. I remember when they first came out, I was so excited, you know. They become more of a retail consumer site than they are a buff site. You know, like Bring a Trailer is a real, you know, car guys and gal site. eBay was once that way, eBay Motors, but they kind of have a vibe of autotrader.com, you know. But eBay is a good place because there's a national net on their cars, and automatically that drives prices up a bit versus Craigslist because the seller is reaching millions of eyeballs instead of just getting a single county, you know? So the vibe on eBay is a massive mix here. It ranges from salvage title projects to pristine showroom cars, and also heavily populated by small independent dealers that are flipping their cars or just trying to, sell the car, buy and sell the cars. They may not be dealers, they may be just driveway flippers. And there are a great number of very high-rated used car guys. If you wanted to buy a Honda Accord, or if you wanted to buy a van or an SUV, there are some very reputable people selling everyday driving type cars too. And I know some of these guys, and I bought some cars here. I bought a lot of cars on eBay, and I normally have very good experiences. But if you look at the C4 Corvettes again, you'll see that they're more solid, clean, well-maintained C4s with reasonable mileage on them than you would find on Craigslist. And they range from $8,000 to $15,000. So you look at some cars here, $12,000, $15,500, but the miles are lower. 40,000 miles, 44,500 miles. Here's one for $19,500, 23,000 miles. I don't know if it is a manual transmission. Manual transmission C4 Corvettes are going up for price. Here's one that just started, $7,700. It's got 26 bids. That's just a bidding format only. It's not, your best price. That's a lot of money, $7,900 with 26 bids, and you still have like a couple of days to go. So that car might go for a lot of money. So that's the difference with what I see on eBay when it comes to looking at cars. And then we go to Bring a Trailer. Bring a Trailer is kind of like, it's the highly curated premium auction site. They reject cars that aren't interesting or clean enough. Meaning that only the top tier vehicles make it onto this platform. And the cars are usually kind of like you'll find the time capsule cars. You'll find the cars with 7,000, 8,000 mile cars, 39,000 miles cars, 22,000 mile cars, and things like that. You'll see more 4-speed C4 Corvettes on this platform and things. So the vibe here on Bring a Trailer is you're just not buying the car, you're buying into this full presentation of Bring a Trailer, right? So they feature professional grade photography, obsessive maintenance records and things like that, some close-up photos of weather strippings, and a lot of people use paint gauges and things like that. They have cold start videos and all those things that come with a Zillow type site for cars. It's fairly intense, but you're paying a premium. You're paying a buyer's premium and a seller's premium as well. And that's that tax that you pay to buy cars on Bring a Trailer. The C4 Corvettes, the reality of the cars here, routinely I see them for $15,000 to $30,000 for ZR1s, even more. So it's a good place to shop. But again, you're paying for the presentation more than you'll pay for things like that. So that's the big difference that I see between the three different platforms, and that's what I wanted to call out today, because many people, when we talk about the different sites that we shop and we talk about the different places that we buy cars, we always kind of push off the Craigslist as being like, oh, that's a lot of scammers and it's not a place I want to be. But okay, I get it. But if you do your homework, and that's what I do every day, if you do your homework and you get on Craigslist, I guarantee you, well, I'm not going to give you any guarantee in writing, but I'll guarantee you that you'll find as nice automobiles that you would find on any other platform, unless you're looking for that real premium collector car, which is not what Daily Classics is all about, right? So that's how I see how I look at this. So I hope you enjoyed this real quick. I just wanted to just talk about that, because a lot of times I'm with friends and I talk about Craigslist and I talk about Bring a Trailer. A lot of people don't know about these sites, and there's less people on eBay lately as it used to be, but there are still some buyers and sellers on eBay that are reputable and all that. But Facebook Marketplace seems to have the corner on the market, and I don't believe that's the place that I want to go to first. I want to check out these three locations before I go to Facebook and get sucked into that whole social media thing, which I'm not a big fan of any longer. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this real quick summary of, well, it wasn't too quick, but of all these three different places. If you like this type of information, please subscribe to this channel. We'd like to see you here. If you like to pass on this video to friends, please do so as well, and give a thumbs up for the algorithm. Give me your comments in the comments below, in the video comments. Let me know what your thinking is. I just use the C4 Corvette as an example. I'm hot on C4s right now. I think they're underpriced, and I think the good ones that are 6-speed manual transmissions, the 95 and the 96s in particular, I think you're going to see these cars really start going up in price, and I'm already seeing that already. So that's what I'm hunting down right now for myself, a nice manual transmission C4 Corvette 1995, 1996. I'm going to look at one upstate New York in about 2 weeks. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you again on Rob's Daily Classics. Thanks.